Alright, I am attempting the Caverns of Karrundax. This is a low-level leveling campaign dungeon. You will unlock it by completing Mount Hotnow. As I've said in a lot of the videos, you can't queue these dungeons directly unless you unlock them with the campaign. So just because you may have seen it on a random leveling dungeon doesn't mean you actually have it unlocked. Most people don't run these anyway unless they're running a random queue, but I'm running all the low level ones because there haven't been anybody run them in a while and done any videos whatsoever since the game's changed. Not much has changed in these dungeons anyway. I will say this one in particular is a very long dungeon. Everything is very spaced out, and it's also one of the only ones that you can ride your mount around in. So I would suggest doing it because, like I said, it's got a lot of them. So if you were to get a group that's on the level of this dungeon, it would be challenging. Most of the time you're not going to get that. And you're going to get people that have done the dungeon a million times. They're going to do things, you're going to be scratching your head as to why. So the first thing that everybody's going to do is they're going to get on their mounts as soon as this dungeon starts, and they're going to run past all these mobs. They're not going to fight anything. They're not going to fight anything till the game makes them. So they're just going to run past everybody, but they started putting little stop points in here because they realized people were doing that. And these little stop points will make them have to fight some of the enemies. Not all of them. You notice after I killed that last one, this little spot opened up right here. We're at a campfire, but I'm just warning you in advance. People are going to get on their mounts and they're going to sprint through all this stuff. They're going to try to skip every enemy they possibly can, just like I did right there. I ran right past them. So if you get caught up behind, you'll end up in a fight with these. Now, I'm on a legendary mount, so my mount is faster than most people's mounts. So I can run past these enemies. It's something a lot of people don't think about. If you're a new player and you're on a blue mount, or you're on a rare, or even if you're on an epic mount, you may not be able to run past these things and have them not attack you. I snuck by them. I went back to kill them just because, I don't know, I'm a warmonger sometimes and I just like to kill stuff. So as I said before, they put these little points in here. This didn't used to be here. You used to just be able to run right up to the boss. And that's what people would do. They would get on their mounts, they would go right up to the boss that they have to fight. They'd fight them and then they'd do it again, get back on their mounts and skip as many mobs as possible. So this is the first boss, Fire Giant, as you can probably tell. There's nothing particularly special. You got the whip right there, which will stun you for a second and pull you towards her. She does a stomp, kind of like the trolls do, except this one adds some lava to the floor that'll do some damage over time to you. So you've got a regular swing attack. That one actually has done some damage to me. As you see, the enemies have gotten more powerful. Because Galleon used to just kill everything and not even have any issues with it. This is the last low-level dungeon you can do. So it doesn't look like she does anything different though. You got the whip, you got the ads, and then you got her stomp. And of course she's got her regular swing with the sword. And that will hurt you, by the way. She doesn't do both the swings. They added two swings, one crossing her from the left side, then one going back to the right side to some of the later game mobs. And you get caught by that, and it's going to be bad. But that's the first boss. As you see, the ads didn't also disappear. Sometimes in dungeons the ads will go away when you kill the boss. Not on this one. So you rotate the little thing, get back on your mount again, and head over to the next spot. And like everybody else, they'll just run past these guys. Even if they attack them, they'll keep running. I'm doing this to warn you in advance. They're going to do this. They're going to just run right past them. So you need to be wary of that. Do not stop to fight the enemies if you got a group that's doing this. And it's hugely irritating. But I just feel like if I didn't show it to you, then you would be unprepared when it happens to you. Now it looks like these guys don't have a range limitation on how far they'll follow you, which is kind of cool. Glad they did that. So I got knocked off my horse after I got hit 6 times. Just decided I could have kept running, but I decided to turn around and fight him. But I just don't want you to be surprised by it, because it gets really agitating when you're the guy stuck back there getting killed over and over again. And if you're on the level of this dungeon, you may not be able to kill all these mobs on your own, and you just can't get by. Somebody will have to turn around and come back to help you kill the enemies, and you don't want that. Had I not got knocked off my horse, I would not stop until it made me stop. Which is right here. Well, no, they keep going. Alright, maybe this is it. No, this is precisely what a high-level character is going to do. I'm going to stop right here because you can take a left, or you can take a right and dip down in here, and there's a couple of chests. But again, the enemies do not have a maximum, they don't have a maximum distance, so they followed me all the way in. Which is a good thing, because I want this to happen to people that run past all the times and leave people behind to die. This is a good thing. Because, like I've said before, there's 2 types of people that are going to run this dungeon. One of them is the person that hasn't done it and wants to run the dungeon. The other one is the person who hit the random leveling queue because they want their 4,000 AD or whatever, and they don't want to sit here and fight all these guys. They don't want to waste their time doing this, so they're not. And when those 2 people get in the same dungeon, they don't mix very well. So, I just don't want you to be the one getting left behind and left to just die over and over again trying to get through a bunch of enemies. So I believe we're about to get to the second boss here. As you see, it's already been 8 minutes into this video, and I'm still not, I'm still running through the dungeon. The enemy density is very low, and let's see, I'll stop here for a second, because if you so desire, there is a special little kit right there. It doesn't drop anything special. It just doesn't look like a normal. Doesn't look like a normal nature kit. She says a little dragon egg. And my nature kit broke. And like I said, just regular little drop. But it's there, and it looks cool. So here's the next little stop point for the second boss. So this guy is like the Flame Spiker. He's just a big version of it. He does very similar attacks. The difference is he's got a few melee attacks that the other guy doesn't have. Here's the regular little fires in a line that leaves the burning magma on the ground. He's doing it again. He's got a little dash attack. He just did it against that wall. Let's see. He just did another attack. So But I think you've seen almost everything this boss can do. Clear out some of my ads. You'll find that the strategy for this boss is no different than any other one. Deal with the ads if there becomes too many of them. I would say if you get more than 2 groups of them, that you should stop and fight the ads. He's dead. And that's the end of the second boss. And this little door right here takes us outside to yet another long and winding path that people will rush through. But the reason they make this, like I said, the reason this dungeon is so long is simply because of how long it takes to navigate it. It doesn't take long to kill the enemies, it's just there's so much space in between the groups of enemies. Some starting. This is where the final boss is, so you can run wide open all the way to the final boss. It looks like they'll all follow you though, so you're probably better off to just kill them. Even the big guy followed me up here. So. Alright, final boss time. Let me swap to my single target kit, make this a little easier for myself. You probably won't have a single target kit, so. But the good thing about this, I believe at level 50, I don't know if it's level 50 or level 30, but you'll have more tank powers, you'll have more healing powers, so the normal group composition becomes more relevant here. Because if you remember a lot of the previous dungeons, you could not even tank anything because you didn't have any tank powers, but yet the dungeon still wanted a tank. So he sits up here and he spits fire down at you, and he lets his little wormlings distract you so he can hopefully hit you with a fireball. It's probably one every 5 seconds or so. If you move, you'll dodge it without even trying to dodge it, kind of like I am right now. Not even looking. I'm just rolling every 5 seconds and dodging it. So after you kill his buds down here, he will hop down. My injury kit's gone. I wonder if I can put this thing on. Yep, I can. Not my injury kit, but my health stone. So he took off. He's flying off. And he'll land here in a second. And I'll get to fight him. He will summon the little ads. There'll be little kobolds, I believe. But he's a dragon. He's slow. So he does his attack where he beats his wings. And if you've fought dragons, you've already seen all this stuff. He does the attack where he beats his wings. That's his breath attack. His standard attacks are like a bite. The little roar right there that stuns you. And he's got a claw attack. And he's going to spit a fireball out. So there you go. We've now seen what this guy can do. That'll get him out of here. He's gonna jump. He's gonna fly back up there again. By the way, if he flies up there one other time. It's really easy to handle the ads he summons because the dragon's slow. You know, he doesn't. He doesn't attack quickly. So he's already back up there now. He's going to send some more dragons out and he's going to start spitting fire down again. Oh, he nailed his guy. I wish it did damage to him. So, same process. Kill the wormlings. After you kill them, he comes back down, and then you can finish the fight. You got 3 wormlings this time instead of 2. That's his last wormling. If you stand under here, I don't think he can hit you with his fire. Nope, he can. He can shoot it right through the ground. I guess it makes sense, though. You just have to tip his head down and see me. I was totally wrong. He taught me a lesson. Wing attack. He's not going to get any new attacks. It's going to be the same stuff again. You can shoot a fireball there. Actually, that one's a new one. So the three fireballs, one in a kind of like a triangle around it. That one, if a fireball hits you directly, it'll do a lot of damage. But that's it for him. Hitting him in the butt with some knives. Finish up his little ads he summoned. And that is the Caverns of Karrundax. That is the last leveling dungeon. Grab your chest over here, and you're done.